Hello everyone, myself Vinay Kumar M. I am pursuing PhD in physics. So in this particular YouTube channel, I'll be teaching physics, chemistry and mathematics starting from 8th standard till 12th standard. So if you want to learn physics, chemistry and mathematics, then please do subscribe to my channel and stay tuned with my channel. So in my previous videos, I was actually discussing the 7th chapter of 9th standard science subject. So that was on motion. So I have covered all the topics which are there in this particular chapter. So in this particular video, I'll be discussing the exercises which are there in this particular chapter. So coming to the first question in this particular exercise, there is an athlete who is running on a particular running track. So this particular running track is a circular path which has diameter 200 meter. So let's say this is diameter of this particular circle and this is the center of this particular circle. So now 200 meter is the diameter and this particular athlete is starting from this particular position and he is making one complete round of that particular circular path in 40 seconds. So that means to reach his initial position, he is taking 40 seconds. So if he is starting from this particular position, he is running throughout this particular track and reaching his initial position in 40 seconds. So in this particular question, they are actually asking in 2 minutes 20 seconds, how much distance and displacement this particular athlete has covered. So now, what do you mean by distance? Distance is independent of direction. So how much ever distance he has traveled in that particular time will be your total distance. So now, in the same 20 minutes 20 seconds, if you want to calculate the displacement, only the initial position and the final position matters. So the shortest distance between that initial position and final position will be your displacement. So now 20 minutes 20 seconds, we have to convert that to SI units. So what is SI unit of time? The standard SI unit for time is in seconds. We have to convert this particular 2 minutes into seconds. So 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So now 2 minutes is there. So 2 minutes will be equal to 2 times the 60 seconds. So that will be 120 seconds. And this extra 20 seconds is also there. So for this 120 seconds, you should also add that 20 seconds. So 120 plus 20 will be equal to 140 seconds. So that means basically in this particular question, they are asking in 140 seconds, how much distance he has covered and how much displacement he has covered. So now, if you want to calculate the distance, then here you should remember in 40 seconds, this particular person is covering entire circular path. That means he is covering 2 pi r distance. So what is r? R is radius. So here they have given diameter. So the half of diameter will be the radius. So what is the diameter which they have given here? So diameter is equal to 200 meter. So when diameter is equal to 200 meter, then radius will be equal to 100 meter. So now, what will be the circumference of that particular circle? So circumference of that particular circle or that particular circular path will be equal to 2 pi r. To reach the initial position, he is taking 40 seconds. That means to cover that entire circular path, he is taking 40 seconds. So that means this particular circumference he is covering, that is 2 pi r distance, he is covering in 40 seconds. Now we have to calculate the total distance which that particular athlete covers in 140 seconds. Because 2 minutes 20 seconds means 140 seconds. So in that 140 seconds, how much distance he has covered. So now in 40 seconds, this particular athlete is covering 2 pi r distance. In 140 seconds, how much distance this particular athlete will be covering is the question. So now if you cross multiply this, it will be d into 40 seconds is equal to 2 pi r into 140 seconds. So now d will be equal to 2 pi r into 140. So when this particular multiplication is brought into the right hand side, it will go to the denominator. That means it acts as a divisor. So 40 second will go to the denominator. So 40 second will be in the denominator. So in numerator 140 second will be there. So now second gets cancelled with each other. So now you have to calculate the total distance. So the total distance will be equal to 2 pi r. So 2 pi r is 2 into 22 by 7 into what is the radius? Radius is 100 meter. That is multiplied with 140 seconds divided by 40 seconds, where second has already got cancelled. So 40 will be there in the denominator. Here you can see 0 and 0 gets cancelled with each other. So 7 ones are 7, 2s are 14. So 2 ones are 2, 2s are 4. So 2 ones are 2 ones are 2. So only 22 and 100 will be remaining. So what is 22 into 100? 22 into 100 will be 2200 meter. So 2200 meter is the distance traveled by this particular athlete. So now we have to calculate the displacement of this particular person. So in order to calculate displacement, we want the final position and the initial position of this particular athlete. So here we know that in order to complete one round, he is taking 40 seconds. So now in 140 seconds, how many rounds he might have taken? Now he has run for 140 seconds, that is 2 minutes 20 seconds. So how many rounds he might have completed? So if you cross multiply this, it will be 1 round into 140 seconds will be equal to 40 seconds into, we don't know how many number of rounds. So let's say that as n. So into n. So now if you bring this 40 seconds to LHS, it will go into the denominator. So it will be 140 divided by 40. So 0, 0 gets cancelled with each other. 4 ones are 4, 3s are 12.2 will be remaining. So 20. So 4 5s are 20 is equal to n. So that means n we are getting as 3.5. That means he has completed 3.5 rounds in 140 seconds. So now if you assume this as a circular path, and if this particular athlete has started from this particular position, so if he is completing one round, means he is actually coming back to his original initial position. So if he is covering the second round, then also he is actually coming to the same initial position. Now if he is covering the third round, again he is actually coming to the same initial position. Here in 140 seconds he has completed 3.5 rounds. That means 0.5 rounds you have to add for this. So that means 0.5 rounds means he will be exactly in the opposite position on this particular circular path. So that means his initial position was here. 3.5 rounds means after completing 3 rounds, he was in the same initial position. Because it is a circular path, you have to reach the initial position. That means wherever you start, you will reach the same position if you are completing one round. So that means after completing 3 rounds also, he was in the initial position only. He was back to the initial position. But here, we have 3.5 rounds. That means extra 0.5 rounds is also there. He has completed 0.5, that is half of the circle. Exactly the opposite position if you are taking, then it will be acting as, and if you draw a shortest distance from this particular initial position to the final position, this is nothing but diameter of this particular circle, because he has reached exactly the opposite position on that particular circular path. He has exactly on the opposite side on that particular circular path. That means if you draw a shortest distance between these 2 points, then that will be the diameter of this particular circle. So and the diameter of this particular circle is 200 meter, because here displacement is the shortest distance between initial position. So this is his initial position. He has completed 3 rounds and reached the same initial position. But here in this particular question, they have given 2 minutes 20 seconds. So that extra 20 seconds is also there. In that 20 seconds, he has covered half of the circle. So that means he has reached exactly the opposite of the initial position. So that will be the final position of this particular athlete. And if you calculate the shortest distance, then that will be the diameter of this particular circle. So hence, the displacement covered by this particular athlete will be equal to 200 meter. Coming to the second question, here there is a person named Joseph, and this particular Joseph is traveling on a straight path. So here he is actually jogging on a particular straight path, and the one end of this particular path is A and the other end on this particular path is B. And here Joseph is taking 2 minutes 30 seconds to travel from position A to position B. So the distance between A and B is 300 meter. So in order to travel this particular 300 meter, in order to jog this particular 300 meter, this particular person Joseph is taking 2 minutes 30 seconds. After reaching B, he is turning around and in another 1 minute he is traveling to a particular certain position that is named as C. So in order to cover this particular distance from B to C, he is taking 1 minute. So now here they are actually asking to calculate average speed, and you should also calculate average velocity. So both average speed and average velocity of this particular Joseph you have to calculate while traveling from A to B and also while traveling from A to C. So in both the cases you have to find out average speed and average velocity. So here while calculating average speed you should take the total distance traveled by Joseph. But when you have to calculate average velocity, you should just take the initial position and final position, calculate the shortest distance, and that shortest distance will be your displacement, and that total displacement divided by total time will be your average velocity. So now let us solve this. So the first question in this particular second question, that is A question, here they are asking to calculate average velocity and average speed while traveling from A to B. So in order to travel from A to B, he is covering 300-meter distance, because if you consider this as A and this as B, he is covering 300-meter distance in 2 minutes 30 seconds. So here what is the total distance? So total distance is equal to 300 meter. So here what is the total time? So we have to convert this minutes into seconds. So 2 minutes means it is 120 seconds and extra 30 seconds is there. So 120 seconds plus 30 seconds. So 120 plus 30 will be 150. So 150 seconds is the total time. Because in order to calculate the average speed, we have to take the total distance and total time. In order to calculate average velocity, we have to take total displacement and total time. What is the total displacement? Here total displacement depends on initial position, final position, and he is walking on straight path. Here in the question they have mentioned that this particular Joseph is walking on a straight path. So he has traveled straight from A to B. That means he has covered the shortest distance on that particular path to reach from A to B. So that means in order to reach from A to B, he has traveled the shortest distance, that is the straight distance. So that means here total displacement will also be 300 meter only. So now we have to calculate average speed and average velocity. So average speed will be equal to total distance divided by total time. So what is the total distance? So total distance is 300 meter. So 300 meter divided by total time is 150 seconds. So in 150 and 300, 0 gets cancelled. 15 ones are 15 twos are 30. So only 2 will be remaining. So the average speed is 2 meter per second is there. So 2 meter per second is the average speed of this particular Joseph. Now if you want to calculate average velocity, so average velocity will be equal to total displacement divided by total time. So what is the total distance displacement? Total displacement is also 300 meter because he has walked on the straight path. So total displacement is also 300 meter divided by 150 second is the total time. So what is 300 meter by 150 second? So 0 gets cancelled. 15 ones are 15 twos are 30. So here also average velocity is equal to 2 meter per second. So average velocity is also equal to 2 meter per second and average speed is also equal to 2 meter per second for Joseph in order to cover the distance between A to B. So now coming to the next question, that is B question in the same question. Here Joseph has traveled from position A to position B, that is he is covering 300 meter in 2 minutes 30 seconds, that is in 150 seconds. So 2 minutes 30 seconds can be written as 150 seconds. So now same Joseph is traveling backwards to the position C, and this particular position C is at 100 meter distance. So in order to cover that particular 100 meter, he is taking 1 minute. So here Joseph has jogged 300 meter from A to B, and again he has jogged back to the position C where he has covered 100 meter in 1 minute. So 1 minute means it is actually equal to 60 seconds. So now in order to calculate average speed and average velocity, we have to calculate what is the total distance. So what is the total distance? So total distance is equal to 300 meter plus 100 meter, because first Joseph has jogged from A to B and distance between A to B is 300 meter, and he has jogged back to position C, that is from B to C the distance is 100 meter. So 300 meter plus 100 meter will give you 400 meter. So what is the total time taken to reach this particular position C? Because now we are actually calculating average speed and average velocity from position A to position C. So what is the total time? Total time will be equal to 150 second plus 60 second, because he has taken 1 more minute to reach C. So 150 second plus 60 second will be equal to 210 second. So now we have to calculate total displacement also in order to calculate average velocity. So what is the total displacement? So while calculating total displacement, you should not consider the path followed. You should just consider the initial position and final position. So the initial position of Joseph was A and the final position of Joseph was C. So we are not considering whether he has reached B and then reached C. We are not bothered about that. Only we are considering the initial and final position. So what is the shortest distance between A and C? That will be equal to 300 minus 100, because he has traveled back 100 meter and reached the position C. So 300 minus 100 will give you the total displacement. So the total displacement is 200 meter. To calculate average speed, you want total distance and total time. So what is total distance? Total distance is 400 meter divided by total time is 200 seconds. 210 seconds. So your 0 gets cancelled with each other. 1.90 meter per second. So when you calculate this 40 divided by 21, you will get 1.9047. You can ignore that 47. So 1.90 will be your average speed. So now if you want to calculate average velocity, 200 meter divided by 210 seconds will be there. So here 0 gets cancelled. So 20 divided by 21 is there. So when you calculate average velocity, it will be 20 by 21. So when you calculate 20 by 21, it will be equal to 0.952 meter per second. So the average speed of Joseph while traveling from A to C was 1.9 meter per second, and average velocity of Joseph in order to travel from A to C is equal to 0.952 meter per second. This is all there in this particular video. The next questions which are there in this particular exercise I will be discussing in the subsequent videos. So if you want to learn more physics, chemistry and mathematics like this, then please do subscribe to my channel and stay tuned with my channel. Thank you.